will be now we'll be talking about a new part in the same chapter that talks about the conflicts. Okay, the chapter is the same, understanding stress and conflicts. Now, what is a conflict? Basically, conflict is described as a state of disagreement or misunderstanding between two people or three people. It results in actual or perceived dissent of deeds, beliefs, resources, relationship between the members of the organization. So at workplace, whenever two or more people, they interact, conflict is bound to happen, because you may have different opinion, the other person may have different opinion, but your stance should be you should rise above conflict, because agar conflict nahi hoga, then also there will be no growth. You should not always be yes ma'am attitude. Okay, if you have some ideas which goes against your boss, put them very politely in front of him, and if he doesn't agree, then you say it's okay. But if you can prove your point, then also he will like it. But sometimes you have to also keep so many things in your mind. What type of personality is your boss, whether he is going to accept your disagreement. So you have to understand, agree to disagree type of situation, where you may not, all of you may not agree to the same thing, but still you will agree to go ahead with that, because you cannot be parting ways in an organization. You may be surrounded with conflicts all the time, but you have to be very smart to be able to keep your identity at the same time, going through the conflict, where very politely you can talk about your points, and if it doesn't work, then you leave it to them, because they are the boss, they will be deciding what they have to do. But the conflict is something that is bound to happen in any place, even in family. There is always a conflict. So organization may also, because there's a lot of work that is being done in any organization, and it occurs when opinion with respect to any task or decisions are in contradiction, because they don't match, isn't it? Now, organizational conflict can be described as a state of discord between individuals or groups of individuals working together, and it stems from certain factors like perceived opposition of need, values, interest of those individual or group of people. So let's go ahead and we'll talk about this chapter in detail. Now, types of organizational conflicts. So one is relationship conflict. Okay, now the conflict which arises out of interpersonal tension. Okay, interpersonal tensions से जो भी आएगा conflict, okay, among the employees, which is concerned with the relationship intrinsically, is called relationship conflict. Okay, it is not because of certain other reason, like what type of project they are doing. It is because of their relationship with each other. So this is called interpersonal tension. Okay, second point is task conflict, which is not related to the relationship but to the task. Okay, when there is a discord, when there is a disharmony among the members regarding nature of the work to be performed, is a task conflict. Now, what is a third type? It is a process conflict. That means it is not about the task, it is not about the relationship, it is how the work will be done. Clashes that may happen among the team members, because they all differ. Task they have understood, there is no conflict in the task, they have no relationship problems, but how to carry on with that, okay, how the work should be completed, that comes in a process conflict. Okay, because there is a difference in opinion. Some people say it should be carried out in this manner, some have other opinion, so that is a process conflict. Okay, now organizational conflict can also be personal conflict. That means that exists between two people because there is mutual hatred or mutual dislikes between two people, so that is personal conflict. Or intra-group conflict, that means there is a within a group, they are not free, they can't have their freedom, either freedom of putting their points across or freedom of moving around in a group. So that means they are having some intra-group conflict and sometimes inter-group conflict. That means that exists between the groups that I have already mentioned in my previous slide. Intra, let me write it one more time. I think, okay, I'll write it here. So the different organizational conflicts then again there are three types. One is personal conflict, then intra-group conflict, then inter-group conflict. Alright, so these are the three types of organizational conflict that you may always come across. Okay, next let's move on to the next slide that will be talking about the causes of conflict. Okay, now what are the different causes of conflict? Like sometime you don't have information. When you don't have information, what will you do? You will feel as if the other party has deliberately kept that information secret. You may have that feeling. Okay, and that feeling may arise because of many reasons, because maybe it is because of personal, it is because of intergroup or intragroup, whatever. But when you lack information, that is also one of the causes of conflict. So when employees are continuously experiencing these types of situation where they feel they are not provided with proper information, some things have been kept secret, so these things they may lead to conflict later on. And if there are decisions which are made where the staff feels that they should be involved but they have not been involved in those decision making processes, so in these types of cases, it can definitely, the conflict can arise between the employees and the manager, or sometime between the employees also. Okay, next is lack of resources. Information is available, everything is there, but how to move on with the process? You don't have proper resources with you, so definitely again there will be a conflict that will arise between the employees and the management. And if employees feel that there is lack of resources needed and they are not able to perform the job properly, so there will be unnecessary conflict or competition that will arise among the employees to go and get those resources for themselves. Okay, there will be a fight for that. So employees who are unable to obtain those resources, they will not be able to perform their duties better because they will blame the management that they did not get those resources, while others, they will feel very proud because they have got the resources and they will be able to present it to the authorities. So these are also one of the causes of conflict. Okay, let's move on to the third point, personal relationships. Now, when you are working in a place which is for you, if it is stressful place, you are not able to get along with some people around you or in your group, it can be made worse when personal differences they begin to creep in the between the employees. What happens? Uh, you know, personal relationship can be because you know because of anything, because of either jealousy, because of maybe the he is being favored, the other person is being favored more by the management, or anything. But overall, what will happen, the personal relationship will affect the productiveness of that group, of that company, because many problems will be generated because of that personal conflict that has arisen, because that person is either favored, or that person is given extra resources, or that person gets promotion without much working hard. So these could be incompetent management. Sometimes the management people, they are not able to tackle the conflicts. Okay, so incompetent manager can create conflict rather than subsidizing it, putting making it less obvious, but they may add to the fire. A manager who does not understand his job and the job of his subordinate, so the people may start filling his ears that that person is not doing well, and that person, if the manager he listens to everybody and makes opinion based on the stories that he is hearing, so that means the manager is incompetent. He should be on the workplace to understand what type of work everybody is doing, rather than he being fed information from other employees. Other employees, why they do it? Because they want promotion, they want to be near that management, and they want to fill ears of the management that that person is not doing work. Rather, that management should be smart enough to ask that, what are you doing right now? You are talking to me, you're not working, that person is still working there. But a smart manager will not confront like this. He will know that this person has got extra time and is coming and filling my ears, and the other person, what is he doing? He will find it out whether that person was really working, or whether that complaint was really genuine or not. So competent management will not add fire to the fuel to the fire. They will rather try to understand the whole situation. Okay, so employees who lose confidence in managers due to inconsistent decisions by the management or their bad planning. Sometimes managers, they don't know much. They may have very high degrees of MBAs and all, but some people who do not have those degrees but are working under the manager, because of their experience, they are able to wade through that situation better than those managers. So those managers, when the people who are working under them, they find it that they are not competent, that causes a conflict, because they know it, they had been able to do it better than, and the management has not been able to provide any solution to their problem. So there is a stress there, because you will feel why that person is given so much high salary, whereas we had been able to find a solution on our own, isn't it? So that can add to the stress, that can add to the conflict. And if there are more than one person who is able to find out that the management is incompetent, there is a conflict that arises in that organization. Next is personality differences. Now, when we talk no two people, we know that no two people are alike. They are all of us are different from each other. So personality clashes, definitely that happens within the family also, and within the workplace also, and it is unavoidable. But personality differences should be taken advantage of, rather than making it a point where it should be made into a conflict, because we know that nobody is same. So whatever good point other person has, it should be highlighted. Somebody is a very good speaker, somebody is a good organizer, somebody is a a person who wants to sit and do work in a corner. So rather than making it a point of conflict, one should go ahead and use those personality differences to their advantage. Right? Just give me 1 second. Now, um, next point here is competition. Now, sometimes, sometimes quotas and incentives can make it very easy to forget the big picture. So, employees, they stop seeing others as team members, and they start seeing them as a competitors. So, healthy competition is always good. I have never any complaint against the healthy competition, but if it goes overboard, okay, so what happens? Uh, it it becomes difficult for other people to survive in that type of productive behavior and unhealthy competition, where we're trying to put other people down. So those people who are innocently working, they will keep on working, but the other person, they don't know that other person is eyeing their work, and they are going to harm in a very different manner. So it is going to give rise to the conflicts in the organization. Next is change. Now, as I said, any type of change, whether it is technological change or any other different, can lead to stress and conflict. Workers who don't adapt well to the change can become stressed, highly overstressed, and then this can lead to conflict. Then sometimes poor communication is also a cause of stress, because who is supposed to do what, which can lead to conflict, because there is not proper communication regarding that. Okay. Now, different values, okay, is sometime, what happens is, any workplace is made up of individuals who see the world differently. We know we have different values, because we have been brought up in different houses. We all, our parent are, may teach us different values. Some people come from very, uh, come from a family where hard work is the most important thing. Some people in the families, they have been taught that you have to not be hard working person, but you have to be very smart and try to copy others and try to steal other people's work. This is how it is, not even taught directly, but some children, they catch it, because they have been living in a families where there is a lot of competition right from the beginning. If you are living in a joint family, you learn the competitions right from when you were born, because in case you have to survive, you have to do something extra, otherwise nobody is going to pay attention to you. Okay, so these are different things. Okay, next is different interests. Now, conflict also arises when individual workers, they fight for their personal goal, ignoring the goals of the organization. They put it side mein rakh dete. Organizational goals are on the side, but they put their self interest in the forefront. Next is conflicting perception. Now, we all know that we all have different perceptions. We all see the world through our own eyes and our own lens. So, and differences in perception will always lead to conflict, because you have a different perception of thing, because particularly where one person knows that some you know uh, you you have a different point of view, others will have a different perception of the same thing, so definitely it is going to add to the conflict. Okay, if your team member regularly engages in gossip or something, you might have a problem with this thing. And negative performances, reviews, or customer complaint can also result from this type of uh, conflict, which is your perception. Now, conflicting goals. Sometimes we have uh, different goals. For instance, one of our manager might tell us that speed is the most important goal with the customer, whereas another manager will come and tell you that in depth and high quality service is the most top priority. Now uh, you'll be divided between two of them, whom to follow. So both of their goals, they are different. You don't know whether you have to follow the A manager or the B manager. A manager is telling you that you have to be very fast with the customer, whereas your B manager is telling you that you have to be giving very high quality services. With the speed, you cannot give high quality. So what, you are now in a zone which is very conflicting. Okay, you are not able to decide what you have to do at that time. Now, pressures. Sometimes uh, you have lot of work and your colleague is not there and his workload is also come to you, okay, because of certain reasons. So um, so definitely you will be doing your work also, and you will be doing the work of your colleague also. So you are under pressure, and you know that, and this is happening continuously and with no added appreciation given to your work, and also because you are doing extra work of your colleague, but you are under pressure. Even then, they are trying to find out your mistakes, so you are under pressure rather than being appreciated. What is happening is, you there is a conflict that is arising. Conflicting pressures are similar to conflicting goals. The only difference is that conflicting pressures usually involve urgent tasks, while conflicting goals typically involve projects and timelines, long timelines. But they are almost similar. Next is roles. Sometimes we have to perform a task that is, you know, that you have never done. You are given a different role to perform. So if this case causes you to get into you have to go and ask somebody, because that person had been performing that role since so long. Now you have to go and ask and enter his territory. So then the conflict may arise, whether that person will be feeling as if he's being given my role. Am I not no longer needed here? Okay, now there will be a power struggle now, because you are going and asking that person to help you, but that person may feel it as a threat. All right, so there is a conflicting role. Though they may be, the management must have thought that if you are able to get into that person's role, that person will also get a promotion, but some that is has to be made clear to everybody. Conflicting roles are similar to conflicting perceptions. After all, one team member may view a task as his or her responsibility or his territory, and no, he doesn't want anybody to get there. But when someone else comes in to take over that task, there is a conflict. He's not going to give his role 100% to that person unless there is something better provided to him, or if it or promised to him. All right.